So you probably know that you have DNA, but did you know every single podcast has a DNA of its own? So every single podcast has a DNA, and that DNA is called its RSS feed. Now the RSS feed is interesting because it carries all the information about the podcast in a few simple paragraphs of code. Now, who makes this DNA? This DNA is created by something called a hosting platform. Now, every single podcast only has one hosting platform, and that hosting platform can be considered the home of the podcast. This hosting platform then sends this DNA to all of the different platforms where you end up consuming the podcast, like a Spotify or an Apple Podcast, etc. Now, the hosting platform is responsible for making sure that every single part of the DNA and every single information of the podcast is sent to the platform. And when you click on this podcast, another piece of magic occurs. The platform makes a quick request, milliseconds, to the hosting provider, and then the hosting provider streams the podcast in that particular time frame. And that's how you actually listen to your podcast. If you're interested in learning more about the podcasting industry and how it's taken shape over the last 20 years, follow me for more and I'll keep you updated.